Today I'm sharing my best style tips so you can step out looking and feeling fab this fall. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello, I'm super pleased that you have found me. If you like this video, I'd really love you to consider subscribing. I post new fashion videos on my channel every single week. But today is all about styling tips. It's not about spending money, it's about making the clothes that you currently own work harder for you. I'd also like to say a very big thank you to the team at Squarespace for sponsoring today's episode. And I'll share why I'm such a fan of Squarespace a little bit later on in this video. But for now, let's get on to those styling tips. Now, my first styling tip is kind of breaking a little bit of an old-fashioned rule where we used to talk about removing our summer clothes at the change of a season, but what I suggest is keeping those pieces in your closet. There's no reason you can't wear those summer dresses, but simply layer them. So whether you layer a polo or a fine woolen knit or some merino underneath, you can really continue to wear some of those summery pieces. And in fact, that's quite a key trend this season to wear floaty maxi dresses all through the winter. And of course you're going to have to layer them and make them warm. But my first solid tip is to just hold on to those summery pieces and make them work into the cooler months. Another tip is to experiment with color. Bold color is, in my opinion, the easiest way to just lift your spirits when it's cold and miserable outside. And it's funny because we often don't think to incorporate bright colors into our winter wear, and that really is the time that we need it the most. And fortunately this season, bold, vibrant color is here. And so this is, I suppose, just a little public service announcement to remember to incorporate some beautiful bold colors that work for you, because they definitely make you feel happier. And who doesn't need that when it's cold and miserable outside? Now, my next tip, and this is actually a really important one, is to take some time to plan your outfits. We seem to think that we can just transition from one season to the next without putting in any spade work. So what I suggest is to just put a little bit of time aside to plan out some new season outfits. And it really is as simple as maybe spending half an hour in your wardrobe trying on a few different pieces. And as I said earlier, mixing and matching some of the different seasonal pieces just to create some new outfits. Then it just means when you're trying to get dressed in the morning, you've got those outfits, you know what works, and you save yourself a whole lot of time and possibly stress as well. So the takeout from this tip is to just invest a little bit of time up front, and that will save you lots of time and lots of angst going forward. And at this point, I'd just like to say a very big thank you to the team at Squarespace for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. Now, as you know, I'm a huge fan of Squarespace, and in fact, a lot of you may not know that I actually have a blog. Now, I haven't been using my blog for a very long time because it's just a bit clunky and hard to use. So the good news is that I'm actually moving my own personal blog over to Squarespace, because I've worked on client websites quite a bit in the past and they've all been on Squarespace, and it is so much easier to use. And if you're not very tech savvy like me, then Squarespace is the answer to getting online and doing what you need to do, whether it's a website or a blog, or you've got an idea for a small business and you'd like to sell things online. Squarespace is the place to be. The other thing about Squarespace is that all of the marketing, emails, your analytics, everything you need is in one space. You don't have to rely on outside companies to, say, host your emails. It's all there. It's all really simple and just ready to go. I'm really excited today too, because the team at Squarespace are offering you guys a 10% discount off the purchase of your first website or domain with Squarespace. Now, I have a discount code for you, which is just simply THESTYLEINSIDER, and I'll leave a link in the description box below so you can click on that link and go through use a free trial of Squarespace so you can kind of get your head around it and see how easy it is to use. And then you simply click on the link, which is just squarespace.com/TheStyleInsider, and then you can take advantage of this really cool offer. But for now, let's get back to these styling tips. My next tip is to not forget headwear. Now, I created a video recently talking about baseball caps, but hats and caps and beanies all help to keep our entire body a little bit warmer. Obviously, we know that heat escapes through our head, but often we forget that final accessory, which can create that sort of extra oomph to an outfit, but it can also be a really practical part of a fall outfit too, to actually just keep you warm and a little bit cozier. So don't forget headwear. Now, there's some sort of headwear for everyone. Now, if baseball caps aren't your thing, then grab a beanie or a wider brimmed hat. Just remember that hats are going to keep you warm and they're a good look as well. My other tip is to consider shopping in menswear departments or menswear stores. Now, some of the key looks for fall winter are oversized outerwear pieces like oversized coats and jackets and puffer style coats, also oversized blazers, chunky knitwear. All of these pieces can be found in menswear stores. Not only are they generally great quality, but they are usually far better priced as well. So don't discount looking at menswear stores. Go onto the websites of your favorite fashion stores just to get a kind of a look and feel for what's happening with the trends, and then whip on over to some classic menswear stores, and I bet you'll find something similar but for a fraction of the cost. And that leads me on to my next tip, which is making sure that you have got a really good fall outerwear piece. Now, whether that's a coat or, like I said this season, an oversized jacket, without a really good outerwear piece, it's really tricky to make any of your outfits work. And certainly for me, I find that I'm miserable if I'm cold, and layering really is where it's at when you're moving into a colder season. So we all do need that one outerwear coat or jacket that we can grab at a moment's notice and know that it works, it keeps us warm, it's practical, and we feel great in it. So make sure you've got that piece. Now, the other tip that I have is to update your underwear and socks. And this may seem a little bit silly, but it's really one of those things that we do tend to overlook. And if you wear skimpier underwear in summer, you might wear a thong or whatever it may be, it does help to just update and perhaps look at some slightly warmer undergarments. And socks are, in my mind, the most underrated items of clothing, and generally they're a little bit like underwear, where we tend to just wear the same over and over and over again. But a really cost-effective way to update your new season look and also to be comfy and warm is to just grab a few new pairs of socks or stockings, update your hosiery. Just some of those pieces that are updated can really help you create some fall looks that are comfortable and also not going to break the bank. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's all about using and wearing the pieces that we currently own without having to reinvent the wheel every season and spend a whole lot of money unnecessarily. So these pieces are affordable ways just to make pieces that you currently own a little more comfy and feel a little new. My other tip is to not underestimate a lightweight scarf, whether it's a silk scarf or a cotton scarf. A lightweight scarf that essentially just gives you that little extra warmth and coverage that you sometimes need around this time of year. And I know that most of us have silk scarves and maybe vintage scarves in our closets. So what I'm suggesting is to bring those out. They're easy to carry with you and they're just there in case you need that little bit of extra something. They're also a nice way just to add a little extra something to an outfit, just to make it look a little more fashion. Another way to make fall outfits work is to play around with texture and proportion, and that's an easy thing to do this season because there are a lot of oversized jackets and blazers and super chunky knits, and these all look really great teamed back with some of your core basics and pieces that you've probably owned for years. So texture is a really good way of looking at things when you're looking at your closet and you're trying to piece outfits together. Look at different textures, and just that juxtaposition of something that's really textured worn against something that's sleek and silky is always a good look, but it's often not one that we tend to think about when we're creating outfits. So think about that juxtaposition of different textures worn together and also different proportions. So maybe you'll wear a full skirt and team it back with a sleek knit. So you've got those texture differences, but you've also got the proportion differences. So just keep in mind those two things when you're thinking about creating fall outfits. And we all know that layering is key when it comes to fall dressing, because you do need to be covered for those days where it is getting a little bit cooler, but the temperature is a little bit up and down at this time of year. So what I do suggest is looking for pieces and layering pieces in natural fabrics. So whether they're 100% cotton, linen, silk, merino, wool, whatever that may be, but natural fibers tend to work best when it comes to layering pieces because they're breathable. Now I know a lot of you don't like wearing 100% wool because you don't like the feel of it on your skin. Then maybe silk is an option for you, or simply good quality cotton fabric. So think about those natural fibers when you are looking at buying pieces that will really serve as good layering pieces, because at the end of the day, as you move into winter and the colder months, those layering pieces are going to become key. So make sure you have enough of those layering pieces, and if possible, choose them in natural fabrics. Now my last piece of advice is to challenge yourself to wear some of the items that you currently own that you just haven't been wearing. Now we've all been in that situation where we've bought pieces of clothing, they hang in our wardrobe and just don't get worn. Now's the time. Challenge yourself to make some of those pieces work. If you're not sure where to start, Google it, and perhaps you might have a hot pink blazer and you're not sure how to wear it. Google hot pink blazer street style. That will instantly give you a whole lot of different ways to style your own blazer, and chances are you'll own pieces that you can create similar looks. Don't worry about reinventing the wheel. Someone's probably already done it and put together an outfit that you will love as well. So my challenge to you is to find those pieces that you've invested in, that you're not getting that wear out of, and create some killer outfits so that you don't have to spend any more money this season, and you get to wear these pieces instead of them just hanging there and making you feel bad about not wearing them. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel for more. And also don't forget to check out that link below to Squarespace. And if you do want to get online, whether it's a blog or a website, or if you've got a small business idea that you'd like to start selling things online, then check out the free trial. Use my link to purchase a domain or a website through Squarespace, and that link will save you 10%. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.